Okay, good morning all. Today we are going to discuss about the priority scheduling algorithm. In the last class we discussed about the FCFS, first come first serve scheduling algorithm, and shortest job first algorithm. Today we are going to discuss about the priority scheduling algorithm. Okay, so in priority scheduling algorithm, it's my telegram channel name at Bhargavi CS. In priority scheduling algorithm, for each and every process P1, P2, P3, the burst time of P1 is 4, burst time of P2 is 5, consider 15, burst time of P3 is 2. Now, priority, that is nothing but what? Importance. We are giving importance to a process so that the process is executed first. Consider the three students are there, P1, P2, P3. So, I want to give the priority for the P2. Why? Because he got the highest marks. So, what we are giving? We are giving the first priority to P2. Next, I am giving the priority for P1. Why? Because their marks is high. Next, I am giving the priority to P3. So, if you consider the priority will give importance to a particular student in a real life. But come back to the processes. So, externally we have to specify which process you want to execute first. That means which process has urgent work. So, that process has to give in the highest priority so that the respected process is executed first. Now, I want to execute this process first. Then next I want to execute this process. Then next I want to execute this process. The choice may be yours. Okay. Now what we are giving? We are giving first importance to P1, next importance to P3, next importance to P2. So how the processes will be executed? Now first P1 will be executed, next P3 will be executed, next P1 will be, P2 will be executed. Clear? Now what is the thing? We have to calculate average waiting time. What we have to calculate? We have to calculate average waiting time. Now what is average waiting time of P1? We are giving the first priority to P1. That means as soon as P1 enters into the queue, the CPU is allotted for the P1. So no need to wait P1. So P1 waiting time is 0. So how much time P1 take to complete the work? It completes the work to complete 4 seconds. Now until P1 is completed, P3 is not going to start. So how much time P3 is waiting? P3 is waiting for 4 seconds. So the average waiting time of P1 is 0. P3 is 4 seconds. Now how much time P3 will execute? P3 will execute for 2 seconds. That means already 4th second is completed. Now 2 seconds add. Now it becomes what? 6. Now P3 is completed the task. Now who will execute now? P2. Now P2 will execute for how much time? P2 will execute for 15 minutes. So 15 plus 6, 21. Now how much time P2 has to wait to start its process execution? It has to wait for 6 seconds. So how to calculate the average waiting time? P1 plus P2 plus P3 by number of processes. So 0 plus 4 plus 6 by 3. That means 10 by 3. Overall 3.33. Clear? So 3.33 milliseconds each process has to wait to execute their processes. So this is priority scheduling algorithm. So in this we have a drawback. So what is the drawback? Consider here 3 processes we have. If I have 50 processes or 100 processes, what is happening? The 100th priority process has to wait until the 99 processes has completed. That means we are not allowing the processes to move forward. So that problem we call it as a starvation. So what is that problem? Starvation. Starvation is nothing but lowest priority processes never getting into CPU. That means the processes are in the late state only. Consider a real example. For example, we stand in a queue. Okay. So if the front people moves, then only we can forward to the forward. We can forward. So if you are not talking to any other, you simply stand there only. Who will push you? So, who will not push you? Some other people will come and stand before you only. So that people will went off to work, but you still stand there only. Why? That means if a priority is not moving forward, the priority is at the same place only, the process, the previous another process will come to the queue and they'll go to the process execution and they'll complete the process, but 100th process will stay there only. So that problem we call it as a starvation. Consider P1, P2, so on, P99, P100 is there. 100 processes are there. So first priority, second, third, fourth, something like that. So P100 got the 100th priority. Consider. So what is happening? First priority is executed, second priority executed, third priority, fourth priority. Similarly, all the priorities are executed until the 99th priority. Okay. Now, if some other process came, 101. So, if the internally the priority of the 101 process is 3, what is happening? Again, we are giving third importance to this. We are giving 100 importance to this. So, the process 100 stuck over here only. Now, the process of 101 is going to execute. But if the one more process came with the first priority, so that process is executed. Again, another process came, that is executed. But what we are doing? We are not moving this. That means we are not incrementing this priority. So the process will stuck there only. So that means lowest priority process never allocate the CPU. So such problem we call it as a starvation. So what we have to do? We have to decrease the priority process. 100 is there. What we have to do? Decrease the value 100 to 50, 50 to 20, 20 to 40, sorry 20 to 10, 10 to 5, 5 to 1. So if you decrease the priority, that means it may get a chance of first priority after some time. So that P100 will be executed. So the lowest priority processes never get the CPU. So we have to increase the priority rate of the lower priority processes. So that concept we call it as a aging. Clear? So the problem we call it as a starvation. So to avoid the starvation problem, we have to increase the priority rate. That concept we call it as a aging. Aging is a technique to increase the priority rate of lowest priorities. So to avoid the starvation problem, we use a concept of aging. Clear? So this is regarding the priority scheduling algorithm. So priority scheduling algorithm also again two types. Preemptive and non-preemptive. So in preemptive case, this is the case. One process is completed, then only the next process is started. Then only the next process is started. But in preemptive case, each process gets some time. So each process has to get 2 seconds. sorry, each process may get for 4 seconds. So first P1 has to execute 4 seconds. Next P3 has to execute 4 seconds. Next P2 has to execute 4 seconds. That means each process has to execute first 4 seconds. Then only the priorities will be changed. Then the turn will come for the first priority. So most probably will not use this one. Only with the non-preemptive case only important.